It's a big weekend coming up at Sha Tin. The first group race here in Hong Kong is the Celebration Cup. It's a Group 3 contest over the 1,400 metres, run in handicap company as well. We've got it all covered here on Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Jern. Please say I'm joined by our form analyst in Paul Alley and race caller Mark McNamara as well. Mark, and interesting puzzle this year, the Celebration Cup.
It is. G'day to you, Andrew, and everybody. We've got Sky Darcy and Russian Emperor coming back. Of course, 1-2 in the Derby last year. Torbjorn Diamond, great first up. And then the old boy at the top, Mr. Consistent himself, Southern Legends, back for another season too. At
the age of 9, he's actually on his career high marks. Quite extraordinary, Paul. We'll have some short price favourites on the card. And what about jackpots?
Yeah, jackpots, we've just got the one, which is the triple trio jackpot, 3.8 million starting there. So a decent triple trio jackpot. As you said, Andrew, there's going to be some really good racing throughout the card, and there will be a couple of shorties, I think.
OK, all right. Well, the meeting is a mixed card. It's on the turf and on the all-weather. The main event is race number 7 on the programme. We're also on the C+3 course for those 8 races, as it is meeting number 7 of the season. Now, these are the 2 races we'll be looking at in a bit more depth here. The Celebration Cup over the 1,400 metres, and a really good lineup for the final event as well. Race number 10, Class 2 over the 1,200 metres, sees the return of Killer B. He'll be taking on, amongst others, Naboo Attack, who's 2 from 2, but jumps from £113 to £133 as he comes down in class. More on race 10 in a moment. But the Celebration Cup is our feature race. And just to give you an idea of the standing of this race, Mark, look at the winners for the last 4 years. Beauty Generation, it was always his traditional starting point, carrying the big weights as well and disposing of his opposition. But Golden 60 on a lightweight last year, he was too good. We'll have to wait to see him for a little while yet.
We will indeed. Goes without saying, doesn't it, Paul? It's a good horses race, the Celebration Cup. So I guess you can rule out a few horses in this year which are unlikely going to reach the heights of a few of these, and there's not too many in this field that might reach the heights of these two if indeed they do.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting with it. The horses like Sky Darcy, Russian Emperor, we want them to go on, don't we? We want them to do well because they're the sort of the Derby horses that we need here in the future.
Yeah, Golden 60, I think it's the end of November. I think it's the 21st of the Jockey Club Mile. That's the first time we'll see him. He'll be second up into International Day, that second Sunday in December. So this year's field looks like this. Southern Legend, who's been 4th in the last 2 runnings. This is the 4th time he's running in the race. There's only Golden 60 rated higher in Hong Kong than him in the ratings at the moment. Zach Purton knows him well, jumps back on board. Mighty Giant, speed from him. He likes to roll forward barrier 5 with Matthew Poon. Last year's Derby winner, Sky Darcy, Joe Moreira, he returns here from barrier 3. Duke wide down, all these horses are out of the handicap. Russian Emperor, second to Sky Darcy in the Derby. Buddy's another horse with pace, Tony Cruz and Matthew Chadwick. Torbjorn Diamond gets up from the 12 to the 1,400, which will suit him. And Decrypt's off a rating of just 91. He's a long way out of the handicap here. Keith Young will ride him from barrier number 2 for David Hayes. Now, as far as the speed map is concerned for this one, there's 2 horses, Mark, who definitely like to be up and rolling and trying to dictate. Is there a chance that somebody else might try and surprise that?
I thought it'd be Buddies and Mighty Giant. The other one maybe, Paul, is Decrypt, who's gone forward in the past, but they've got him fall back on the inside here. But Buddies goes forward. Mighty Giant is so often slow out of the gates. Such a big horse. He hasn't got that natural early speed, but he musters quickly, and I'm sure he'll roll forward too. Look,
I wouldn't be surprised if he did lead Mighty Giant because Buddies hasn't really shown the pace in the last couple of starts that we've seen in the past from this horse. So he is going to have to work to get there. He is a natural front runner, but maybe Mighty Giant will kick up on his inside. We'll see what happens there.
And Buddies is not going well enough to be taken on and do any sort of work and try and finish it off. So he might be looking for a very soft run, Buddies.
Right, OK. Well, we'll have a look at a couple of them in action in a moment or so. Let's start off, though, with one of the big names in the field. Last year's Derby winner, that's Sky Darcy, and his jockey, Joe Moreira. Joe, Sky Darcy back at the track on Sunday in the Celebration Cup. Nice to be jumping back on board last year's Derby winner. How's he been?
He's been great. He trialled not long ago and he gave me such a good feel on that. I think we're looking good to go back to the races.
Just a starting point for him, obviously 1,400 metres, but he's going to be competitive all the same.
Well, I don't mind about the distance at all. He has won 1,200 metres, 1,400 miles, 2,000, so he seems to be a versatile type of a horse. Even though if 1,400 might not be his best distance, he's got fresh pair of legs at the moment, and I think he's just going to be able to deliver his best.
As far as the trial was concerned, did he feel very different to when you were riding him last year? Has he matured much through the off-season?
Now he just felt as good as you could always wish. He was quite a mature type of a horse last season, and he didn't have to improve that much, psychologically and physically wise, to be where we would want him to be. He's in good shape. He's going back to the races, and I have plenty of faith in this horse. I think he's going to be able to do very well this season.
Do you have a gut feeling as to what will happen after Sunday? Obviously, a lot will depend on how he runs, but whether you'll be going up in trip or down in trip if you're heading towards the internationals?
Well, it's a question that Casper will be able to answer, but my feeling is that he's going to step up in distance to a mile. I would be very surprised if Casper stepped him up to even further than that. And I honestly think a mile will be his best distance. So it's no doubt one of those horses that we get very excited about.
Yeah, it's exciting to have him back, Sky Darcy. The future's the future. The present, is he going to be fully wound up, do we think, for, you know, it might be another horse's grand final, I guess, is where I'm going with this, as opposed to Sky Darcy's.
I think natural ability can get him home, and what he's done previously, Paul, first up and over the distance as well. Skyfield's a very fast horse that beat him the last time we saw Group 3, and he's no slouch, of course, Skyfield, so he's the one to beat for mine.
Yeah, I agree with Sky Darcy. I mean, he's won twice, fresh up in the past, and I think his class will get him there. And the distance, I think, is a good starting point, 1,400 metres. He's won once in a couple of placings from his 3 starts, so I think it's a really good starting point for him.
Yeah, and Golden 60 last year, I think, carried 116. He's got 120, so that gives you an idea of, you know, sort of the rating he's on at the moment. Right, let's have a look at a couple in action. We'll start off with Champions Way and Torbjorn Diamond. This is over the mile at the back end of last season, Paul.
Yeah, look, I like Torbjorn Diamond in this race too. He's only won once here in Hong Kong, and it was second up. He's second up. He comes in with a very light weight. He's got a good draw, and I think he'll put himself in the race. And he did catch the eye in his debut run this season, and this run was good as well. Yeah,
that was 1,200 first up for Torbjorn Diamond. He was a mile back and ran on. Champions Way has performed in Class 3 before, but of the two, really like the run of Torbjorn Diamond. Yeah,
okay, well, we can see him again here in actual fact. Torbjorn Diamond, first up this season. There he is, Mark, slow out of the gates. There's also Buddies and Duke Y in the field, but 1,200 metres. Naturally, he's going to be better the further he goes, isn't he?
Absolutely. He was proven in Australia over further. As Paul said, he has won second up, so there's a bit in his favour. He comes out of the race behind Naboo Attack. Didn't quite get Duke Y in, Paul, but there's quite a bit in his favour as well. Just the 1,400 metres is the query. He's only been there once before, and he wasn't too far away at it, and don't think Buddies is going well enough.
No, I haven't got Buddies in at all, but I agree with Duke Y. I think he's a big price at the moment, and Duke Y as a horse who's won twice from 3 goes, second up, and that's the state he's in at the moment, so he's at the right place as well.
Yeah, and that's Naboo Attack, of course. We'll be talking about him in a moment, going around in the final event. Last one we can have a look at here is actually, we've got a couple more to have a look at. This is Southern Legend Paul at the trials, and he is a legend as well. At 9 years old, career high mark. This is the 4th year in the row that he's running in the race.
Yeah, exactly. And look, he hasn't got a good fresh up record though. That was the only query of Southern Legend. He does have to carry the weight. He's 9 years old. But as you mentioned, he's been such a really good servant to racing here in Hong Kong. The trial was okay here. Look, I didn't quite get him in, but look, I'll be cheering him if he hits the front, put it that way.
Found a spot for him. Zach's got an excellent record on the horse. 5 rides for 3 wins on him, and wouldn't be too concerned by the start that we just saw there, Andrew, where he veered out a bit. There were 2 late scratchings in that trial that played up in the gate, so they were delayed slightly, and the old boy might have just got a little bit edgy.
Right, okay. Again, that was a good trial. That was Glorious Dragon and Killer Bee, 1 and 2 there. Mighty Giant, Mark. I quite like this trial.
Yeah, it was good. That's Enchanting Start, who leads up at the 200 metre mark. Now, he hasn't performed on race day Enchanting Start, but he has had a few excuses and a few injuries along the way. They're a long way in front of the rest, Paul, and of course, his record at 1,400 metres, the big horse, is outstanding.
Yeah, very good, isn't it? And look, I've got him in as well, Mighty Giant, and I think he's going to get a really good run from Barrier 5. If Buddies is slow away, he can lead. If not, he can get a nice trail. He's quite a versatile horse.
Yeah, and a feather in Matthew Poon's cap as well, because not using his allowance, there's plenty of senior jockeys who could have ridden 126, but Ricky Yu's gone to him. So, which way are you going there, Paul?
I'm going to go with Sky Darcy. I just think Sky Darcy, the class will get him through this, and he's got a really good fresh record. Torbjorn Diamond, after really caught the eye, second up record's good, and as with Duke Y as well. I think his second up record's good, and Mighty Giant will get that nice run. So ended up with 3, 8, 5 and 2.
Pretty similar to Paul. Sky Darcy goes on top. Being 1,400 metres is the key as to why he's the one to beat Torbjorn Diamond in for second. His win second up was over 1,600 metres. Had it have been a mile again, might have gone 8 to beat 3, but the 7 furlongs, 3 to beat 8. Southern Legend, he's just so honest. He's a Group 3 winner when we last saw him last time. And the concern is his fresh up record. And Mighty Giant absolutely loves the trip. 3, 8, 1 and 2.
Yeah, 6-time winner, course and distance, Mighty Giant, that'll do for me. I've included Russian Emperor, but he looks short enough in the market at this stage as well. But that's the Celebration Cup. Good lineup. Really looking forward to the feature race on Sunday. Still plenty more to come. We're looking ahead to an exciting final event, race number 10, plus all the best bets. That's up next. Final race on the card then at Sha Tin, race number 10. It's a good one. It's a Class 2 contest. This is over the 1,200 metres. The field is headed by Naboo Attack. Actually drops in class after winning the Chief Executive Cup on the opening day of this season, but carries 133 now. Fat Turtle, California Rad, Shining Ace, all dropping in class as well. Killer B, we see the return of Killer B, a 3-time course and distance winner last season. He won 4 of his 5 starts in actual fact. Shining Gem, Loving a Boom, makes a rare trip to Sha Tin. Winner Method gets the cheek pieces on as he gets up from the 1,000 to the 1,200, where his 3 wins have been so far. Private Rocket, and then Sunny Boy, who's first up for the season. Chris So and Alex Lay, he will jump from barrier number 2. Now, this final event, Mark, the last, really interesting, not just for Killer B and Naboo Attack as well, but they are 2 of the big names. Who are we looking for in the speed in the early stages? We've
got Trillion Win and California Red going forward, Andrew, on the speed map. Winner Method, Paul, just his second time at 1,200 metres. Igniting has raced best when he's been in front too, but his starts have been a little bit iffy lately.
Yeah, and California Red sometimes takes a little time to muster as well. So I just wonder if it is going to be Trillion Win and Winner Method leading out. Now, if California Red is slightly slow out, he's going to find it a little bit difficult. He could end up being 3 wide with Shining Ace getting outside Trillion Win. I think the big boy Naboo Attack should get a nice run midfield.
But yeah, it looks as though Trillion Win, Andrew, will be the one to lead. He's usually pretty quickly away. As I said, the only one that might be able to go forward if he jumps better is Igniting, but yeah, his starts have been somewhat unreliable. OK, we'll come back to Trillion Win in a moment. We'll start off, though, with Killer B and his return with jockey Joe Moreira. Killer B in the last race, he's a horse to get very excited about.
Very much. He's a horse that has shown a lot of ability, has been winning races very impressively in circumstances that sometimes horses just can't win, and he was able to still do it. So all these things that he has done last season gets us very excited for sure.
He starts off over 1,200 metres again. Have you been happy with his preparation, his trials and his track work leading up to Sunday?
The preparation has been good. He's been actually much more mature than he was last season. In 1 or 2 races he gave us a little bit of a hard time to walk into the gate, and this time he's been more forward. We learn a little bit about the horse. We're trying to do a few things different with him, and he's been responding very well. In regards to his fitness, I don't think all the best horses at the moment, they wouldn't be 100% quite yet. Neither this guy, Killer B, but he's pretty fit to go back to the races, and I'd be very, very surprised if he goes there and run a bad race.
I know you can only ride your horse, but Naboo Attack's in the field as well, carrying the top weight. What are your thoughts on him? He was a good winner first up this season.
Well, he should be the favourite, and he's going to have to sweat blood to beat Killer B. Killer B is a good horse as well, and they're certainly going to make the race card of the day being a very interesting card. So I'm glad to be sitting on one of the best horses on the day.
And long term, obviously the 4-year-old series for Killer B, that's what we're looking at?
I guess so. He's no doubt going to deserve an opportunity to be heading up to those 4 years old series, and if he's able to run the distance, he might be one of the favourites for the Derby at the moment.
Again, that's a long way down the track, January, for the start of the 4-year-old series, but he's a really exciting horse to watch, and probably to call as well last season.
He sure is, Andrew. That win where he was 4 wide the trip and still won, Paul, was something that horses generally don't do. And he did it running away.
He did, didn't he? And look, he's doing it all over 1,200 metres at the moment, Killer B. He's by Savabeel. You know, these horses are 1,600 metre horses plus normally. So look at it's an exciting horse, there's no question.
And he took a rapid rise through the ratings last season as well, winning 4 of his 5 starts. And got to a mark of 89 in the end, Mark. That was huge. And just that 1 second placing, it might have been inexperience that found him out that day.
He was a 1.9 favourite that day, and it was over 1,200 metres, but he's since gone on and won 3 in a row over the trip per Paul. But it's a horse that he's just from day one stepped out with just raw ability. Yeah,
no, definitely has been. And look, you can see he's always been well backed. This horse, he'll be well backed once again. But you might get a decent price, you know, in relative terms with Naboo Attack in the race.
Well, it's interesting. Joe actually thought, he said Naboo Attack would be favourite. It does have the advantage of having that run under his belt as well. We'll come to him in a second. We'll have a look at Killer B on his final starts last season, Paul, and he looks pretty tractable and versatile as far as tactics are concerned. Can sort of sit in. He was very prominent in his 1,000-metre win as well, I think, but he's got a great turn of foot.
Oh, hasn't he? And you just see it here when he comes down the outside, he gets clear air, and he wins really nicely. So, look, he's an exciting horse, and I think they're going to have a lot of fun with him coming into the 4-year-old series, no doubt.
Just wonder if his turn of foot's a little quicker than Naboo Attack. He's such a big horse. When he winds up, no doubt that the huge horse has got the sprint on him. But if Killer B comes off his back and can just put half a length to a length on him, that might be his best chance of beating the big horse.
He's getting 11 pounds off Naboo Attack as well. Now, Naboo Attack won't have any problems carrying the weight mark per se because he's such a beast himself, 133, but it must be noted that it's 20 pounds more than he carried last time out. His California Rad in the race as well, and Shining Ace, who eventually finished in 5th. But this is Naboo Attack. When he gets rolling, he's a hard horse to stop.
He sure is, yeah. Once he's built that momentum up, he just goes, and there he is. He's carried 117 and 113 pounds to win his 2 starts in Hong Kong. So as you said, Andrew, it's a big jump from last time, that 20 pounds, but such a big horse, Paul. He should easily be able to cope with it. And when David Hayes, with a stable full of exciting horses, says this guy's the best in it, well, that's why he's going to come up one of the favourites.
Oh, definitely. And look, he's, as you say, the weight, normally you look at the weight and take 20 pounds is a lot of weight difference, but with such a massive, he's a beast, isn't he? He's 1,380 odd pounds. He's the biggest horse I've seen here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and Zach Purton will be jumping on board. That was Karras riding him on that occasion. Some Happy Valley form here. We've got Shining Ace down there on the inside. The other horses to look out for. Well, I don't have to ride the boom bus too far to get to Sha Tin on Sunday. We've got Igniting as well in here. Paul, what of these 3?
Look, I prefer all 3 at Happy Valley, to be honest. I mean, Shining Ace wasn't a bad run, but he's drawn awkwardly in barrier number 11, which is going to be a telling factor. But Igniting it, look, I just don't know if he's going as well as he was last season after this run. And Loving a Boom, well, we'll leave that one to you, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. I'd prefer them all at Happy Valley, although Shining Gem has won 3 from 6 at the distance, so he's got a few things in his favour, but this is a very, very good and a very hard race.
It is, yeah, very good. But, you know, a horse like Loving a Boom, why not? Try Sha Tin, try something different, see if it works. He's got a light weight on his back as well. This is Winner Methods down the straight, and 1,000 metres is starting a little bit on the sharp side for him now, Mark. He's stayed on very strongly here. Other horses to look out for, Trillion Win's got load of speed, and Private Rocket in the blue and pink.
Thought he was a little bit disappointing, Trillion Win, with the run that he had. Winner Method, he looked gone here as we picked the replay up. He was hard ridden and he picks himself up and he goes again near the line. So his run was very good. Couldn't drop Trillion Win on this run because he is quite a good horse. He beat Naboo Attack at the trials and pricked the ears in doing it. But on this run alone, Paul, just had the 10 in to beat the 9 Winner Method over Trillion Win. Again, he sticks on okay near the line, but just on face value, I thought his run was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I just wonder if he was looking for 1,200 already, because that's how it seemed to me. Both of them actually were. So they're going to be right on the pace, these two. If any trouble happens in behind, then I think these two are the ones that are going to capitalise on that. And Trillion Win in particular comes out of some strong form races behind Curia Wonder et al.
Yeah. It's not just a 2-horse race, but those 2 names, Naboo Attack and Killer B, do stand out. Which way have you gone for?
I've gone Naboo Attack with that run under his belt, the big boy. Look, he finds his own luck, this horse. He can monster his way out. He's just such a big horse. Killer B, look, I just think Naboo Attack might get him on this occasion. I know there's that weight difference, but with him being a big horse. But Killer B, exciting horse going forward, no question. I wouldn't be surprised if he did beat him, but as you say, Andrew, I think that's the Quinella 1 to beat 5. Trillion Win in there for 3rd, if anything goes wrong with Winner Method. So 1, 5, 9 and 10.
It's the same 4 as Paul, just a different order. I went the B to beat Naboo Attack simply because just thought his high speed might be able to see him pinch that little break on the big horse at the top of the straight. But he'll be challenging him near the line again. Should be a terrific race to finish the card at Sha Tin. 5 to beat 1. And again, Winner Method and Trillion Win, not quite at the level, it wouldn't appear, of Killer B and Naboo Attack, but they're not too far behind it. I don't think either will mind stepping up to the 1,200 metres again, as Paul said. So 5, 1, 10 and 9 in the last.
5 and 1 the cue for me as well. Killer B to beat Naboo Attack. Did Loving a Boom make it in? course he did. He's in there for a minor spot. 10 race programme. Paul, give us the highlights.
Look, in the Zashian in race number 1, I think he can run a bit of a race here. I like the Super Red Dragon at a price, coming onto the all-weather for the first time. Other horses, Viva Hunter, I thought was impressive, winning last time. Sky Darcy, we've already talked about. Packing Victory, I think he can win. 5 Elements is looking exciting in that race as well. And he's a beauty. He's got a really good second-up record, so I think he'll run a bit of a race as well.
All right, you'll find the race-by-race previews on the website as well, audio-video section there. Who was the best of those, though, Paul?
Viva Hunter. Derek Lung's in great form, and this horse, I think, has really improved in the off-season. It was a good fresh-up win this season. I think he can go on with it and win again from barrier number 4. And Super Wind Dragon, we're going to take a chance with him. He's drawn wide, but he gets back and runs on. Always works well on the surface, and will be on the all-weather for the first time. We're going to do the play, though, in Viva Hunter's race with Infinity Win and Street Scream. 4, 6, 7. QQP's in the 5th.
California Concord comes back onto the all-weather, carries 130 pounds, but he's carried 131 to victory previously. 2-time winner on the all-weather course and distance. Excellent second-up record. Patchy Pass. Paul O'Sullivan has done nothing on race day. Didn't mind the trial up at Chungfa. Pricked the ears. All for St Paul's comes out of that trial. If he was in that race, he'd be right in the market. And the play, race 2, California Concord, ready to win in the enigma that is Super Axiom.
I got in the main event, Mighty Giant. You're getting each way price about him, though. He's got a great fresh-up record, nice trial, and I think he can make it count where others are looking further down the track. Each way, Turquoise Alpha, you'd want a decent price about this horse as well, but stepping up in trip will certainly help him, and Zach Burton's not a disadvantage either, is it? Mighty Giant, Sky Darcy, Torbjorn Diamond for me, the QP. All right, that's just about it. You'll hear, though, from David Hayes on Hong Kong Direct this week talking about Naboo Attack. That's worthwhile because we were at the trials at Happy Valley. They were good on Friday morning, Mark.
We were, and David had a couple of nice triallers there as well. He just keeps on producing, Paul.
He does, doesn't he? And yeah, it's pretty exciting. He said at the start of the season he was going to have 60-odd winners. Well, he's well on the way already. Yeah,
you'll also hear from Douglas White talking about Russian Emperor. But that's the show. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you at Sha Tin on Sunday. We will be racing to win.